Need some fast, cheap, reliable MUT coins? Go to MMOXP.com and use discount code MONEYSHOT for 5% off your order. Link in the description below. Welcome back, YouTubers and Madden fans. This is Madden Money Shot, sniffing out the Madden cheese as always. Got some plays for you today out of the Saints playbook. Since I only put out about one video a week from practice mode now, I figured I might as well do it from my favorite playbook, which is the Saints. So I'm going to bring you guys some new fire out of the I-form close. I already put out some plays out of the I-form close. It was a little bit more of a run-based video, but I have some really explosive home run plays, as well as some super glitchy plays out of it today. So really a three-play scheme. If you guys want to see more out of this or more out of the Saints, do me a favor to like button and let me know in the comment section. Other than that, I also want to say happy holidays to you guys. We got New Year's coming up, and I also want to say happy playoffs. Hopefully your favorite team made the playoffs like mine did. The Eagles, man, they didn't. I don't know if they snuck in there, if they kicked the door down, because they won 4 games in a row to get into the playoffs. So hopefully we can keep this going, get a couple more wins. They definitely are looking good. Carson Wentz is looking good. Let me know in the comment section if your favorite team made it or not, and how you feel about your favorite team right now, regardless of what happened. But that's it. So let's go and let's get into the video. The first play that I'm going to show is a play that I've showed quite a bit in the past, but it's one of the glitchier plays in the game, and I have some new wrinkles to it. And that's the drag wheel. There's a couple of routes on this play now that are super glitchy and can really be a problem. So let's go and let's pick that. On the defensive side, we're just going to pick random. It's a kind of a cover 3 play, but we'll go coverage to coverage to coverage. I'm going to go each individual coverage because this play can really beat just about any defense in the game. You just have to kind of read the coverage. But we'll start off with cover 3. So like I said, you've probably seen this play. Just motioning out Kamara here is a super glitchy setup. He just gets underneath the coverage 9 times out of 10, and he'll make some plays. Now that was a little bit closer than I wanted it to be, but ultimately a lot of times he's going to get right underneath that. So like I said, I've shown that in the past. I'm not going to go over that too much today, but with the new wrinkle that I'm going to go over is I've discovered that if you motion over Cook, he can be a really good play. Now you just basically motion him over, put the B route on a streak, and you have a really good play, especially to the boundaries. You can see right here, that guy's got to follow back to cover the streak route. It's really going to get this get this tight end over. So like I said, this play right here, I've called this play a glitchy play in the past, and this play here makes it even glitchier. As you can see, this A route is going to get uncontested just because of that B route has to be covered back. I can steal that all game. There's nothing that's going to cover that especially if I choose the right coverage. So I switched over to a cover 4. I had to pick something out of the dollar because that's the only cover 4 play that they have in this book. But you're going to see any off coverage, like the cornerbacks drop back, is going to have the same effect. So cover 3, cover 4, they're pretty much the same look. Your zones on the outside drop back, and you're going to see that's wide open. So not a lot of people necessarily run cover 4 to this particular defense, but there's still a lot of people that run it out of the 3-4 odd. So you're still going to see these cover 4 looks quite a bit. And then, like I said, right there, I'm throwing a little bit early because I want to get some catch and run space. But you can see, if you have a fast enough tight end, you might be going up the sideline. Now this is actually a pretty good cover 2 play without really any adjustments. Typically your A route and your X route are just going to work a high-low. If I were to make any adjustments, I'd make that same adjustment over here because ultimately I'm trying to bring these safeties apart as much as possible, because the B route a lot of times can really be a good play. But you can see, if you're running against cover 2, the drag and the post route are really the way to read. But this play is pretty much a designed cover 2 play from the start. So let's see if we can get. They're playing back on Cook, but if they drop down, you pretty much have to choose where that cornerback plays the ball. If he drops down, you take it to Cook. If he runs back, you take the crosser underneath. Now I don't have anybody with real speed catching this drag, but it is what it is. But you can see how easy it is to read that. So now I'm in a man coverage look, which is going to change the read. The first one, you pretty much have to read the defenses, but I'm just showing you how this can beat just about every defense. So we're in a cover 2 man, going back to Kamara, which is just I'm just going to wait till he turns up the field, and you're going to see how he really creates separation between the covering linebacker trailing and the obvious safety over the top. So you have that read, and then you also have the drag obviously is going to be successful. So here the X route, I could take him, but obviously I just have more separation here. It's a little bit of an easier play. I have a better athlete there, which is part of the reason I'm doing that, but don't discount the X route. The X route drag is going to be a good play as well. You just kind of have to you have to have a little bit more speed there than I have. So it's a really simple play. And then like I said right here, that RB route, I'm pass leading outside. he's just, the wheel routes beat man coverage. It just is what it is. And a little bit more speed, he might be gone. I'm almost house calling it. So you can see how explosive this is. Now, obviously, if you're running against a cover one man, it's going to be pretty much the same read. But if you have an all-out blitz like I put up here, I have basically a zero blitz. You just want to block your running back, block your tight end, and you're going to have the same read. So now all my blocking is taken up. Floating the ball this time, I'm not going to bullet it like I did previously, but floating that pass is going to help out because obviously there's no safety over the top. Now, that being said, too, I also want to make sure that I streak the B route, because I don't want, the way he comes across, he really kind of makes the tackler be in the area after I catch the ball with the running back. So this is pretty much a single read play. People won't typically use her outside like this too. They won't typically expect the running back all the way outside to be the user's responsibility. So you're going to have an easy play pretty much every time. So to me, the second most important play in this, without a doubt, is the halfback stretch. Now, I already put out the halfback stretch in a different series of plays, but I'm going to go over it again in this one because obviously it's the most important run play. I probably only run maybe 3 run plays in this entire game, especially when I use this book. I use that, and I use some inside zones out of some of these other formations. That's it. That's the only formation. That's the only run plays I use. They're so successful, I don't need any other run plays. So I'm going to pick that. Then I'm just going to continue. I'm going to go random 4-3. The reason that this run play is so successful is you can really run it to either side. Typically, I want to go to my blocking advantage, which is the tight end. But depending on where my user is, depending on, I can really run it either way. I can flip it to the other side. Even though I have better edge containment on the tight end side than I do on this side, it really doesn't matter. You're going to see how the blocking usually kicks out and gives me my outside lane, which is exactly what I want. So I don't have to really worry about the normal run principles of like having the outside edge. It'll happen anyway. So it's not always about edge containment. There's a couple of different ways to run this. Here, you can see, like I said, that defensive end's really far outside. A lot of times, that'll create a space. He'll just take himself out of the play, and you just go up inside of him. It's a couple of different ways to run this. It's very simple. So this is what I'm talking about right here. I got the cover 3 safety on the right side. Obviously, I don't want to go that way. There's too many defenders on that side, even with the blocking advantage. So I flip the play with the right stick, and you can see right here, like I said, that defensive end is so far outside that I know getting the edge is probably not the way to go. Now, I can take it outside here. I'm probably, by the time I sprint out a couple of yards, I'll probably have somebody pursuing me. Or I can take a more direct approach and just treat it, like I said, treat it like a play up the middle. And you can see, he takes himself out of the play, and I pretty much have a lane right behind him, just running straight up the field. So a couple different ways to run it, a couple different reads that you can make to make this a really successful play. So those are without a doubt my 2 favorite plays in this formation, the plays that I use the most. They have a lot of success. Like I said, I'm trying to be careful not to show too many plays that I showed before. I don't necessarily remember which ones that I've showed in the past. I know I didn't show the PA Saints shot, so let's go ahead and let's pick that. This is a very specific cover 4 beater play. So we're going to go back and we're going to find our cover 4 play one more time. Where you at? Right there, cover 4 drop contain. So all I'm going to do to make these cover 4 plays successful again, especially in this, is put the X route on a hitch route. That's pretty much it. Then I'm just going to put Clark here on an out route and then smart route him, and that's all I really have to do. That's going to make this play an explosive home run play once again. You can see right here the receiver gets past the coverage. I don't really have the speed that I would want, but you can see how he gets past. And all that really has to do with the hitch route. Now you can see the hitch route, the way that he basically drops on this play, kind of makes these safeties, there's nothing in their area. They pretty much, when they read this, they split the field in half. You know what I mean? Like, that's how these safeties work. The safety and the cornerback on both sides are splitting the field in half. So these cornerbacks, they know they got somebody coming. This one guy flips his hips. He flips his hips to run. These guys here, they never flip their hips. They're still sitting on this route, which is only, this is the only one in their area. So they don't really read anything until this receiver crosses the field, and once he does, that's when they decide to flip their hips, but it's too late. So like I said, right here, see how once he crosses into that center section, now this guy knows he's got somebody coming. He flips his hips, and it's too late. Like I said, I don't really have a huge speed advantage here with Ted Ginn. They don't really have a lot of fast receivers, but you can just see, you can always imagine how it work if you're playing Madden. You got a real receiver that has some speed, but that's pretty much it. So you can see this hitch route is really what makes them flatten out. They do nothing. Like I said, right there, they're basically holding hands in the middle of the field doing nothing by the time this receiver crosses and makes the play. You can also put this A route on a flat. gives you a little bit of a better check down, and ultimately you can see the safety once again. He flattens out because he reads that as pretty much the only responsibility he has is short, and then it helps you to get over the top. So there's a couple different ways to make this play work. So that's it. That's the vid. If you guys want to see more breakdowns like this out of the Saints playbook or more breakdowns in the practice mode, do me a favor, hit the like button, and I'll do that next. Other than that, thanks for watching, man. Money Shot out. Need more help or just want to show your support? Then head over to my Patreon and join my team, where you can get exclusive content like ebooks and bonus plays, as well as early access to my vids and more. Link in the description below.